Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sumukascha ekadantascha kapilo gajakarnakaha. Lambodharascha vikato vignarajo vinayakaha. Dhumketurganadhyakshaha Palachandro gajananaha. Vakratundaha Surpakarno Herambah Skandapurvajaha. Suklam Baradharam Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopasantaye Yasya Dviradavakradhya Parishadhya Parasatam Vignam Nidhanti Satatam Vishwaksenam Tamasraye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheswaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Satchidananda Rupaya Krishnaya Akrishtakarine Namo Vedanta Vedhyaya Gurave Buddhi Sakshine Krishna Dvaipaya Namvyasam Sarva Bhuta Hite Ratam Vedabhya Bhaskaram Vande Samadhi Nilayam Munim Janmadyasya yataha anvayat itaratascha artheshu avignaha swarat tere brahma hridayah adikavaye mukhyanti yat surayah tejo varimridam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo vrisha dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi dharmah prochida kaitavotra paramo nirbat saranam tatham Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Sivadam Tapatrayol Moolanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krute Kimva Parairishvaraha Sadhyaha Sudhi Avarudhyatehe Atra Krutibihi Sutrushibihi Takshanat Nikama Kalpataror Galitam Palam Sukamukat Amrita Dravasam Yutam Srimad Bhagavatam Prasamayam Muhuraho Rasikaha Bhuvi Bhavukaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Jatam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Namaskaram. With Bhagavan's grace, let us continue from where we left off in our last session. We came up to Slokam number 37, Adhyayam 26, Skandham number 3. Kapila Bhagavan is teaching Devahuti in response to her query, sincere query, and through her to each one of us who has been blessed, so to speak, to listen to this teaching. The blessing is there with everybody. Don't please, I don't want to create an impression anybody is partial, more important than another. It is just the way that a fruit ripens on a tree. Not all flowers, become unripe fruit and then become ripened fruits and all that, right? And some flowers actually fall half the way, and some buds don't even flower. So it's a question of journey in our journey, our individual journey towards Bhagavan's lotus feet, that when the right moment comes, Bhagavan brings us in touch, in contact with these various teachings to further and facilitate and pull and push and nourish our further and strengthen our progress, towards the lotus feet. That's all. So it is His grace that it's only His grace, and which is absolutely impartial, right? And He knows what to give to whom, when, and in what way. So He has selected. Listen to this; it is good for you, and definitely it will benefit. And the questions pertain to Sankhya Yogam, the Sankhya knowledge, but then our buddhi is such that we always try to understand things, isn't it? Even though Bhagavan Himself says, "Don't try to understand me, experience me," that's the clearest instruction from Bhagavan Himself. Because I'm beyond any understanding. And the understanding Shakti in our understanding ability is Bhagavan. So how can I understand something that is beyond the realm of understanding? It's not possible. Even though he himself has said it, and he has also given this understanding faculty called Buddhi, which has got curiosity. Hey, how does this happen? How does it work? How does it work? Etc. Etc. So to answer that question, Bhagavan is now taking us through the process of creation, how the creation came about, even though he himself has said right in the beginning, the creation is nothing but an illusion, nothing but Maya. So the hide and seek game that the Creator is playing with me here, by explaining all this, he's moving me towards the creation. At the same time, he is telling me, see me in this creation, see the Creator in everything that you live in. Very important. Don't focus on the creation, but focus on the Creator. The Creator is Mahatattvam, the Kalam, and the Prakriti. And the fundamental essence is Prema. So look to that love. Okay, don't look to what the love is created as illusion, as what it projected itself as illusion. So this is the message. So there are two things. One is to satisfy our curiosity. Okay. At the same time, if I understand the teaching properly, then that also helps me focus to the substratum of everything. In spite of the things happening so differently in varied manner all the time, if I say, no, there is a oneness in all of this, which is Prema, the same thing which is in me, then I begin to look to the Creator. So those are the two important messages to understand. Okay? Now, we have covered up to, we saw in the way Bhagavan explains, there are the Tanmatrayas. And the 5 Tanmatrayas are there. Tanmatra is the essence of the literally speaking, it is a limit. Okay, everything in creation is bound within limits. Only Bhagavan is limitless, beyond all limits. But everything in creation is bound within limits, its own assigned limits. Okay, we can experience it personally also, scientifically also. It really doesn't matter. Mathematically, everything has to fall within limits only. Okay, so the moment it goes beyond limits, I call it as infinity because I'm not able to grasp it. Very simple. So that limiting aspect, that the thing that is within bounds, is described by the word Tanmatra. Tanmatra also means the aspect of Prema which is so cooling to our mind, to speed. So if you approach it that way, that is also Tanmatra. Now, the Tanmatras are very important. Everything me within your body, your mind, outside, everything has got the Tanmatras. Now, interestingly, the first Tanmatras that got manifested from Aham, the tamasic aspect of Ahamkaram, is the ignorance, is Sabdam. And Sabdam is much more than sound. Then from Sabdam came Akasam. From the Tanmatras come the Pancha Bhutangal. Please remember that. So Tanmatras, Pancha Bhutangal, and the Pancha Bhutangal, the corresponding receivers, the perceiving senses, that is, and also the acting senses, but mostly the perceiving senses, corresponding perceiving senses, like if it is Sabdam, the perceiving sense is our hearing, right? Like that. If it is Sparsam, the perceiving senses, our perceiving tool, the sense of perception that we have is the skin. So understand these three in that order. Another thing to understand as we move forward, the first Tanmatra is Sabdam. Then from Sabdam came Akasam from Srotam. Srotam is the ears. Now, very interestingly, from the Akasam came Vaayu. Okay? But the Akasam came Sparsam. From Sparsam came Vaayu. Now, the important thing to understand is Vaayu has got the characteristics of Akasam also in it. In addition to that, it has some additional characteristics. Okay, Akasam, there is no Sparsam there, only Sangam. But Vaayu has got the characteristics of Akasam as well as additional characteristics. Then, which is a little bit less subtle than Akasam. Then from Vaayu comes Agni, which we are going to, from Sparsam, Vaayu. Then from Vaayu comes Rupam, which is a Tanmatra, right? From the Rupam manifested Agni and our eyes. So Agni has got the characteristics of Akasam, Vaayu. In addition to that, it has got some additional characteristics. Then correspondingly, then we go to Jalam, and then finally Prithvi, the earth, which is the grossest of all the five Bhutangas. Then when we come to that point, you will be able to appreciate how beautifully Kapila Bhagavan is explaining everything. When I say I perceive something, okay, where is the perception coming from? Right? How is it perceived? Right? All these things, because creation is just upon perception. And so all these things you'll be able to understand much better. Okay, so then let's move on to Slokam number 38. Now from 38, the 38, 39 and 40 that Bhagavan says we will take up today, which corresponds to Rupam, Agni and our eyes. Okay. Number 38. And it says here, 38, let me get the slokam here. Okay, so remember again, Kalam, Mahatattvam, Kalam, Prakriti. Again summarizing it, Prakriti is nothing but the three gunas in equilibrium. With Kalam, they get the equilibrium get disturbed. So always remember that. Then from that disturbance comes Ahamkaram that we saw, Manas, Buddhi and all that. Then the interesting thing is, time is very important. And we can see that in our own life also, right? What appears bad today, a little bit of time, passage of time, it appears actually good. What appears good today, the passage of time, it appears bad. Everything changes. Time is phenomenal. And it not only heals everything, as we say in the English proverb, but more important, it is also definitely removes my ignorance ultimately, my ajnanam ultimately as I pass through, okay? So the time, the disturbance of time is very important. What happens is the Vaayu, which has got the Sparsam as its Tanmatra, right? From that Vaayu, the Rupa Tanmatram came about. It manifested, it appeared. From the Rupa Tanmatra came Tejas or Agni. Agni is just not the flame on a candle or a lamp, okay? Please remember that. Agni is fire. Fire is not just a physical fire we see. It's also the fire of digestion, for example, okay? So please understand Tejas or Agni as more than what we think to be a burning flame, okay? So that is Agni. So that came about from the Rupa Tanmatra. Now from the Agni, from the Tejas, then the Chakshu, the ears came about. So that is the first statement. The next slokam will describe what are the Lakshanam of Rupam. Then the slokam after that will give you what are the Lakshanam of Agni. So understand it this way, not the way we've been using the words all this time. Okay, please, that won't get us anywhere. Now here is the definition. What are the Lakshananga, the characteristics of each one? So next time you hear Vaayu, you should not think it is only wind or air, because it also talks about movement, right? I move my finger, that is Vaayu involved. So please understand it that way, okay? So, slokam number 38. Vayoho cha sparsatanmatrat rupam daiveritat abhut. Samuttitam tataha tejaha chakshu rupa apalambanam. Vayoho cha sparsa tanmatrat rupam daiva iritat abhut. Samuttitam tataha tejaha chakshu rupam rupa apalambanam. Rupapalambanam. Rupa, not apa, rupa upalambanam. I'm reading it wrong here. So let's read it again. Vayoho cha sparsa tanmatrate rupam daive iritat abhut. Samuttitam tataha tejaha chakshu rupa upalambanam. Number 38. Okay. So Daiva iritate, as decided, determined, commanded by Bhagavan, a divine command. See, everything, there are two things. There is willpower we have, true, but we have free will, so to speak. But at the same time, Bhagavan himself says, not a dot can move without Rama's will. Not a blade of grass can wave, or distant star can shine, or a leaf can fall from the tree without Rama's will. Okay, both are true. The quickly what is Daiva means. See, what happens in our life is Bhagavan, that's what we call as destiny, fate, or whatever it is. But how I handle what happens in my life, how I approach it, how I act on it, that is my free will. Please understand that free will is manmana bhava matbhakto matyadi mam namakru. That is what I have to turn my mind towards. So that for that I have the free will. So this is a very important. What happens is destiny. How I handle what happens, there I have the free will. Okay, to get to the lotus feet. So now, Daiva iritate means with Bhagavan's will, Bhagavan's command. Sparsa tanmatrate vayoho cha. The sparsa tanmatrate, the thing that has the sparsam as tanmatra, which is vayoho cha. From that vayu, rupam samuttitam. Rupam, the rupa tanmatram, samuttitam, was born, manifested, appeared. Tataha, from that rupam, tejaha samuttitam, the tejas. Tejas is, we call it as effulgence, which is Agni, that appeared. Now, then also, from the Rupa Tanmatra, not only Tejas appeared, also Chakshu Rupa Upalambanam. Chakshu, the eyes. Now, why did the Agni and the eyes come about? Because Rupa Upalambanam, which is, they manifested from the Tanmatra in order to cognize the form, the rupam. If I don't have the eye, I cannot cognize it. If the Agni, the Tejas is not there, I cannot cognize it. So the Tanmatra itself gave rise to Tejas, the Agni, the effulgence, as well as the eyes. Okay? That's this. Vayoho cha sparsa tanmatrate rupam daiverithat abhut. Samuttitam tataha tejaha chakshu rupa upalambanam. Now, the next one talks about what is the lakshana of this rupam, rupa tanmatra. What is it? Rupam, is it only form? Immediately we say rupam means form the way we translate it more. Let's look at how rupam is defined. Okay, and then pay some close attention to it. Say, the one that gives the form to the various objects, first characteristic of rupam. Then the second characteristic of Rupa Tanmatra is that it appears as if it is limited and bound into the form that appears. Both are true. It gives a form and it also appears as if it is bound within that form. And the third aspect of this Rupam is it actually adopts a form that it shows. That is Rupa Tanmatra. See, there are three aspects here. And this is the Lakshanam for Tejas. So, From these three characteristics, now various things, various activities come about. Do you understand? So Rupam is just not form. Rupam, Rupa Tanmatra is that power, that Shakti that gives object the form. Then also it appears, not really true, but it appears as if it is limited to that form only. And third, it also the characteristic is it takes the form of the object that it shows. So if you take a ball, for example, okay, ball is a form that my eyes can perceive because there is effulgence in the ball as well as in my eye. So that is but the Rupa Tanmatra is, when we look at the ball, what am I thinking? Oh my God, now the ball shape has been given. The Tanmatra also appears as if it is limited only to the ball, and it takes the shape of the ball. You understand? So like any object that we see, these three aspects are present. This is the Lakshanam of Rupa Tanmatra. Okay? So please understand, it is now, you can see it is more than our English word form. Okay? Please pay attention very closely and reflect on that. Okay? I really want everyone to enjoy and benefit from these great teachings. Number 39. Dravya Akrutitvam Gunata Vyakti Samstatvam Evacha Tejasaha is Sadvi Rupa Matrasya Vrittayaha characteristics. A Sadhi, a noble lady, is addressing his mother Devahuti. Dravya Akrutvam, Dravya for the various objects in life, whether it's a blade of grass, speck of sand, or a snake, or a human being, or a table, it really doesn't matter. Whatever the object is, okay, think for a second, where does the form come from? That is Rupa Tanmatra. Dravya Akrutitvam. Akrutitvam means it gives it dimension. Now, this is the visible thing. We call it visible because my eyes can perceive it. The invisible form is felt by Vaayu. That is another Sparsam. Okay? But this visibility has to have a dimension, isn't it? Otherwise, I cannot see it. So this Akrutitvam, Dravya Akrutitvam, then Gunata. It also got a quality. Every object has got a dimension and also got a quality. Quality is meaning what? For example, if we take salt, for example, salt is salty, sugar is sweet. So each object has got a quality, so Gunata. Then Vyakti Samstatvam. Vyakti Samstatvam. Vyakti means something that's cognized and also individualistic, differentiated. So Vyakti Samstatvam means individuality. Every object has got individuality, has got a quality, and has got a certain dimension. Okay? So Vyakti Samstatvam Evacha. Tejastvam Tejaha. Tejastvam, the effulgence. Effulgence is the aspect here, right? Effulgence is not only sunlight or our table light or whatever, but the light itself. There is an effulgence in light. Okay? That Tejastvam, Tejaha of Agni, of fire, and Rupa Matrasya Vrittayaha. These are the characteristics of the subtle element called the Rupa Tanmatra. Rupa Tanmatra means the subtlety of what is called as Rupam. And loosely we translate it as form, but I suggest you use the word Rupam in order to not to get confused. So Rupam, the characteristics are, it gives a dimension for an object, it gives quality for that object, and it gives differentiation, the individualistic aspect for that particular object. And these are the three characteristics of Rupa Tanmatra. Dravya Akrutitvam Gunata Vyakti Samstatvam Evacha tejastvam tejasaha sadhi rupamatrasya vrittayaha. So the invisible forms are independent because we cannot see it with our eyes, and that can be understood by touch or by sound, etc. But visible forms can be understood, perceived only by an analytical study of their constitution, which is dimension, quality, and also differentiated individuality. Right? So those are very beautifully captured here, so precisely. And then let's go on to the next one, number 40. Okay. So Rupa Tanmatra characteristics have been taught. Okay. What about fire? From the Rupa Tanmatra came Agni. What are the qualities, characteristics of fire? Fire or Agni or Tejas, we cognize it by its effulgence, by its light, and also by its ability to cook, to digest, to destroy cold, to evaporate, and it also gives rise to hunger, thirst, eating, and drinking. Vaisvanaro aham Vaisvanaro bhutva. Praninam deham asritaha, Swami says in Bhagavad Gita. I'm present as a Vaisvanara, the Agni. Okay? And for the digestive fire, right? You call it. So that's the one that gives rise to hunger, thirst, and also to eating and to drinking. So the qualities of Agni are light and its ability to cook, to digest, to destroy cold, to evaporate, and to give rise to hunger, thirst, eating, and drinking. Dhyotanam, pachanam, panam, adanam, himamardhanam, tejasaha, vrittayaha tu, etaha, soshanam, chutrid evacha. Dhyotanam, pachanam, panam, adanam, himamardhanam, tejasaha, vrittayaha tu, etaha, soshanam, chudrud evacha. Number 40, Jyotanam, Vidyuti, we say, to Prakasam, to bring effulgence. Jyotanam, that is effulgence. The thing that makes it effulgent, that is Agni. Okay, not just the effulgence itself, but the sun is shining, it's very effulgent. But what gives rise to that effulgence, that is the Agni. Okay, Jyotana means something that makes it effulgent. Pachanam means to cook. We all know that. We know, so I won't spend much time on that. Himamardhanam, Hima means cold. Okay, Himalayas, we say cold. Mardhanam to kill. So thing that means it got heat, it kills, it destroys, removes all the cold. Then Jyotanam, Pachanam, Panam. Panam means drinking. Adanam means eating. Himamardhanam means destroying cold. Tejasaha, vrittayaha. The vrittiha, the activities of the tejas, okay, and the activities, the thing that multiplication, if you would call it, vritti means also to multiply, the various things that manifest themselves from Agni, from the characteristics of Agni, or the tejasaha vrittayaha, to etaha, soshanam. Soshanam means evaporating. Okay, when there is dew, for example, the early morning dew, the sun comes, and that's Agni, right? Immediately it evaporates, it's like that. So then, Soshanam, Shudrut evacha. Shudrut means Shudrut. It is hunger and thirst. Shud is thirst, Shud is hunger. So Shudrut, coming from, caused by, it causes the hunger and the thirst, etc. Because of that, Adanam Panam. Because of that, it also eats and digests. and also drinks. When I'm thirsty, I'm drinking, right? What prompts me to prompts the thirst, and what quenches the thirst when I drink water. So this is the Agni aspect. Okay, and these are the Tejasaha, Vrittayaha, the various activities of Agni. So remember, next time when we say Agni, it is just not fire. Okay, these are the characteristics. Jyotanam, effulgence. Pachanam, cooking. Panam, adanam, drinking, eating. Himamardhanam, removing, destroying cold. Tejasaha, Vrittayaha, the activities of Agni. Tejasaha is Agni. So Etaha, these are the activities of Agni. Soshanam, Shutrut, Evacha. Soshanam means evaporating. Shutrut, Eva, Shutrut, Panam, adanam. The hunger, thirst, eating, and drinking. All these are Tejasaha Vrittayaha, the activities of Agni, and which is coming from the Rupa Tanmatras. Okay. Jyotanam, Pachanam, Panam, Adanam, Imamardhanam, Tejasaha Vrittayaha tu Etaha, Soshanam, Shutrut Evacha. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha, Harihi Om. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om.